Okay, hey friends, this is take two, because my first one was way too distracting because my family was all in the kitchen, but now they're not. So I'm at my mom's house in New Jersey, and we are gonna make amazing Brussels sprouts that really are amazing and don't taste like farts. I know a lot of people associate Brussels sprouts with just like tasting like farts and like, ew. You know what, I'm gonna turn off this fan. If I can figure out how. That's actually a good question. Hold on. Nope, can't figure out how. I'll wait till my mom comes back. Anyways, we're gonna make these awesome Brussels sprouts. So a couple tips. Of course, I'll put the recipe underneath when I'm done, but I first wanted to tell you that I'm using frozen Brussels sprouts. So that is amazing for a lot of reasons. You don't have to wash it. We're not cutting it in half. If you keep kosher and you're worried about bugs or things like that, at least the rabbi that I speak to says it's not a problem with frozen ones. So we can talk about that later if you're interested. Also, if anyone's noticing my gorgeous bling, you like that? I'm at my mom's, so I was looking through my grandmother's old jewelry and found this, so I'm wearing it. Anyway, so let me just show you exactly how it's done. I'm gonna flip the camera around. Here we go. See, these are my beautiful Brussels sprouts. And normally I would put, this is my parchment paper. I normally put parchment paper and I would do it on a cookie sheet, but my mom has these really nice, has a bunch of these Pyrex, and can you just let me know that you can hear me, that the fan sound isn't too loud? If you can, that'd be amazing. And she also has a dishwasher, so because of that, I'm not careful about using parchment paper because it's not annoying to wash it when you don't have to wash it yourself. So I'm just pouring them in and going like that. Really hard so far. Then here's my pre-peeled garlic that I'm also just gonna put like a handful. I'll put a little more because everyone likes it. And just put it in like that. Then I have my olive oil. You guys know the kind I like. Of course, that's what my mom gets too, because it's what I told her to. Of course, in a respectful way. And I'm just kind of putting a bunch of olive oil all over, like that. Whee! Oh, I turned on the oven to 350 already. I mean 500. Sorry, I did it at 500. My hand's all oily, see? Okay. Hi, 2 people are on. If you guys can hear me, can you let me know? Because I'm nervous that you can't. Okay, there we go. And now, I'm just gonna put the salt. See? This salt is Himalayan pink salt. It's a huge salt from Costco, of course. And I'm just putting my hands in and kind of doing this all over. Boom. And doing that. There you go. That's it. Literally. That's all you do. They come out amazing. I'm just going to put it in the oven now that I already have on 350. Woo. And in it goes. Bye. See you later. And they should be ready in like 30 minutes. Amazing. That's it. That's how you do it. I really want to turn off this fan now because it's distracting me. Let me see. Okay. Oh no, I did it. Okay, way less annoying like that, right? Okay, so that's it. They're in the oven now, and they'll take about 30 minutes or so at 500 like that. I just love doing the frozen ones because it's so fast and so easy, and you know, I don't have to wash it or do anything. So I just want to tell you a little bit about why these are so great. They come from the cruciferous family, which means basically most vegetables that are really crunchy, like cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower and kale and what else? Brussels sprouts. Right, so those are all from cruciferous, and all of those vegetables are much better for you when they're cooked. They're much easier to digest, and if you eat them raw, they're very high in what's called goitrogens, which is not the worst thing in the world, obviously. But if you have any kind of a thyroid condition, it can mess with your thyroid. So for that reason, I'd be careful. Other than that, I would just, you know, do your best to have them cooked always. But because they're green and they have a lot of vitamin C and a lot of other minerals in it, they're really good for detoxing your blood. Sorry, I know it's late now. I normally do it earlier, but we're doing the best we can. So basically, greens really clean out the blood and help the liver. So a lot of times, actually, how that relates to weight loss is, number one, it's important to feel full. But part of feeling full is not just having enough calories, it's also having enough bulk in your stomach to feel full. And so when you're trying to lose weight, having adequate vegetables in your diet is really powerful for that, because they take up a lot of space and they don't have a lot of calories. And they're very nutrient dense, so you're also feeding your cells, right? One of the things I always like to talk to my clients about is the concept of, when you're eating, you're not just eating for your mouth or even for your stomach, you're eating for your cells, which is why it's possible to, eat a whole bag of donuts or a whole bag of jelly beans, and even though you feel nauseous, you still want more. And even when you feel so sick, you could actually still feel hungry. And then of course you're like, oh, what's wrong with me? How could I be hungry after eating so much crap? But the answer is because your cells are still hungry. So just because you had a lot of calories or junk, it doesn't mean that your cells got their needs met. So that's why you'd still be hungry. So eating foods that have a lot of nutrition in them really helps for that. So Brussels sprouts, for example, like I said, have a lot of vitamins and minerals, and will really help with the weight loss in that perspective. And another thing that it plays into is for cleaning the blood, is that one of the ways, or one of the reasons that your body will prevent you from losing weight is because we store toxins in our fat tissue. And so even if you're doing a lot of other things to help you lose weight, if you have too much toxins already in your blood, your body won't let you release the fat, because all of those toxins will go into your blood, right? And so if you've already maxed out, hey Batya, if you've already maxed out, then your body's just trying to protect you. So the only way to basically move through that is to clean your blood and clean your liver, and one of the best ways to do that is by eating green vegetables, and cruciferous vegetables are also really great for that. So that's like this, hey. And so that's one of the things that's really great for that. The other element that I mentioned of like, why does it matter so much that you roast it with an oil and which oil you roast with, and is because if you don't, the vitamins, the vitamins and the minerals that are in the cauliflower, hey Joanna, are what's called fat-soluble vitamins. So that means that even if you eat them but you don't have them with a fat, your body can't absorb them. And so if you want to be absorbing the benefits of a lot, hey Devorah, right, of all the vegetables that you're eating, most vegetables have a lot of fat-soluble vitamins and minerals, but in particular I'm talking about Brussels sprouts now. That if you would eat them raw and like without any oil or fat or dressing, not only would that taste really nasty, you also wouldn't really benefit from it. Oh, someone's coming in the room. You wouldn't really benefit from it because of your body's inability to absorb it without fat, right? Some things are water soluble, like vitamin C, for example. Hey, Mmmm. So vitamin C, for example, is water soluble, which is why if you squeeze a lemon into water and you drink that, you can absorb the vitamin C. But a lot of the minerals that are in a lot of vegetables are fat soluble, like our Brussels sprouts. And so that's why it was really important that I roasted them in olive oil. And you saw I wasn't, what's the word? I was liberal with it, right? I wasn't like, ooh, just a little bit, right? The fat is really important. It gives it a lot of really good flavor. Hey, Sarah, Rachel. And so that's why I put that on there. Joanna, I always feel so special when I get a shout out. Thanks. I feel special when you come on. No, I did not get off a long flight. I just got out of the car. We're in New York, we're in New Jersey right now, but we came because my husband's shooting a commercial, and we came actually last Thursday and spent a few days with my family, and then we kind of hung out with my husband while he filmed all over New York City last 3 days. So I just got out of the car, but I didn't have my makeup on when I was in the car. I did that for you guys. And also because it's hard to like smile and feel charming when I look at myself and think that I look like I just need to go back to bed, which might or might not be how I actually feel. Anyways, so the fat that you use really matters also, of course, because, right, like I mentioned, the vitamins and the minerals are fat soluble, so we need the fat in order to be able to absorb it into our cells where we actually need it. And the fat that we choose really matters because some fats, and I'm going to get into this, of course, very in depth on the webinar this Friday, and even though officially early bird registration ended yesterday, I messed up a little bit on the tech, and if you want to know a secret, the old link still works. So I'm going to post the new link tomorrow, but the old link still works today. So whoever wants to get in that didn't, you can still use the old one, and it will still work. Because I'm still learning my technology. But I'm proud of myself for making progress. Anyways, so what was I saying is that the reason is that different oils do better at different temperatures. So for example, flaxseed oil, right? People know that in general, that's like a healthy oil. You see like everyone at Whole Foods like choosing their flaxseed oil. So flaxseed oil is great, but it really is only great cold because it's very fragile and very gentle. The molecules are very gentle. So if you heat it, if you heat it, then the molecules get destroyed and then you've actually made something more toxic than it was before. My live is a little glitchy for me. I hope it's not for you. But olive oil actually is fine to heat. You don't want it to smoke. You don't ever want any oils to smoke because once they're smoking, they become rancid. And which happens basically, the molecules get destroyed. They become the wrong shape, and so they are poisonous, and our body sees it as poison. So that's kind of what happens, right? Imagine just like, you know, they get totally deformed, and then they can't do the job that they originally could do. So because of that, you could use also, I'm going to leave it at that. I recommend doing it with the olive oil, the extra virgin olive oil. And again, even though I put it in the oven actually at 500, it's not going to actually get super duper hot because it's not going to be in that long, and because it's combined with the other food, so it's heating the other food. It's not like I'm actually turning the oil up to 500. Anyways, so that's pretty much what we did. They're going to be ready in like 25 minutes or so. Did I start at 7, Rachel? No, that would be so funny. This would be like the longest live ever. No, I started at like 7:50 because we got home really late. But you always burn the food a little bit. That happens to us sometimes when we get distracted. But the simpler the recipes, the less I find that happens. Definitely part of the strategy is I find simplifying. Anyways, yeah, we were in the city way longer, and then my husband wanted to go to the Ohel, which is where the Lubavitcher Rebbe is buried, so I couldn't say no to that. So then instead of getting back here at like 4:30 or 5, we got back here at 7, and everyone was starving and grumpy. So, more than you wanted to know or cared about. No, Rachel, you did not miss the whole thing. Now everyone knows the whole story. The whole story is I actually tried to do this like 15 minutes ago, and everyone was still in the kitchen, and I couldn't focus at all. And I had to just hang up and start over. But anyways, I hope this was helpful. And want to make sure I wrote down my notes to make sure I covered it, because I realize sometimes I don't cover everything I say I'm going to cover. But yes, I'll recap for you guys who joined late what we covered. Number 1, that because it's a cruciferous green vegetable, it really helps in our detoxing. Number 2, detoxing helps with weight loss because it cleans our blood and enables the fat that we're trying to lose to release, essentially, because when the fat is released, it releases toxins also because we store toxins in our fat. And our liver and our blood has to be able to handle that. And so we're helping our liver and we're helping our blood when we eat these awesome vegetables. And the oil matters because we want it to stay good. I'm talking about Brussels sprouts, Rachel. We want it to stay good, and not all oils stay good once you heat them, especially to higher temperatures like roasting now. So if you missed the beginning, I guess you could hop on. I'll hang up in a minute, and then you guys can watch from the beginning. If you have any more questions, let me know. And I'll remind you one more time that because I'm still working out my tech, even though early bird discount to the fats, Skinny on Fats webinar, even though it officially ended yesterday, I messed up with the buttons, and that link will still work today. So you can snag that still if the regular one will go up when it goes back up to 47. So if you have any questions, let me know. And this was so easy, right? It took me like, I don't know, 4 seconds to actually make it. And now I'm just chatting with you while it cooks in the oven. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.